Hello, everyone. Welcome to ICANN Media. I'm your host, Rob Hislop. We are in Banff for the Petroleum Safety Conference. One of the main speakers here is Gord Winkel from the University of Alberta. Gord, thanks very much for joining us here on ICANN Media.
Well, it's been a pleasure and really great to be here. Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about what your seminar, what was your seminar called?
Well, we call it Making Safety Real. So what we're doing is we're taking a journey that translates what we often see in great programs and manuals into something that actually gets enacted in the field, where the manual comes alive and people actually realize the risk exposure reductions by following the things we intended. Yeah.
So you're meaning to say then that that's not always the case?
You know, we have great opportunities out there. Lots of people can talk about the wonderful programs that we have. But the fact is that those programs need to be enacted to the level that they were intended. And often the complexity, the pressures of work, and the things that our employees have to deal with may cause some of those things to fall sideways, or they may require some improvement. So they're all opportunities, and we like to make sure that we learn from them when they go wrong and build that into the future.
So what are some of the keys for you then when it comes to implementing a successful safety culture?
A successful safety culture first starts in promoting safety from a priority, a goal, or an objective to become a value. All of those previous things like priorities change, values do not. And so when safety becomes part of the DNA of the corporation, it means that, well, production never overrides safety. Safety never takes a back seat to schedule and cost. Rather, when I'm on to you about production or other aspects or goals or objectives, it's never at the expense of safety. And those are things that we haven't necessarily realized in all workplaces yet, and so we need to keep encouraging people and advancing our culture so that becomes real.
So you talk about the values. One of the interesting things that one of the speakers mentioned today is the difference in the generations in the workforce. Mm-hmm. How the baby boomers are at the top and you've got Generation Y coming in and they do things differently. And how has that impacted how you look at safety cultures, or has it?
You know, when you talk about the different generations, I think what's valuable about the discussion is it allows you to understand where people are coming from. But after that, that's where it stops. Let's not overplay the fact that any generation values life, and that any generation, when presented with a proposition about what it is to work safely, what it means to them and their families and to their workplaces, they all buy into the fact that people need to be safe and secure. And some of the things we talked about in the seminar are things that do make that manual come alive in the workplace, that do make it real, that do test us and challenge us when it's not right, to in fact think about how we then could improve and to make that an okay activity.
So if you wanted somebody to walk away from one of your seminars, or people listening to this interview as well, what do you want them to walk away with?
I want you to walk away with the fact that safety is a value, and when that becomes intrinsic to the DNA of the corporation, you will have people out there that move from compliance to commitment. Compliance is what you want to do. Commitment is something you want to do. You're going to have people that think and act like owners of the company. In other words, they're on for taking responsibility. Every generation wants responsibility and the ability to contribute. And also, you know, they've got to have it in their hearts and minds. This is something about passion. This is something about staying in the moment. And if we can enable people, then we set them up for success. And that's really what we want. We want lives saved. We want harm spared. We want businesses that avert tragedy and the environment protected.
Gord, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, and have a great day.
Thank you. We've been chatting with Gord Winkel here on ICANN Media.